Welcome back to tonight's episode of We the People, where the people get to weigh in on today's issues. Tonight's subject is whether or not the Supreme Court should have term limit. I'm your host Mr. Nelson. Our guests tonight are students from University of Phoenix, History 310, United States Constitution class. Tell us a little about yourselves.
Good evening, Mr. Nelson. My name is Andrew. Well, I work in the oil fields and make good spaghetti. I think term limits for the Supreme Court is a great idea.
Hi, I am Emmy. I disagree with Andrew. The Constitution was created for a reason. Who are you to just go around and change things? Plus, I make better spaghetti.
My name is Liz. I'm sorry you feel that way, Emmy, but I would have to agree with Andrew. Not about the spaghetti, but about the term limits. We have several amendments already. Our founding fathers' expectation was to amend the Constitution if and when the people seen a need to do so. Besides, I think my spaghetti is pretty darn good.
Hold on everyone. Let's not gang up on Emmy. I happen to agree with her. I mean, every job has a learning curve and the Supreme Court is no different. By the way, my name is Jackie. I receive compliments on my spaghetti every time I make it. I only use the freshest ingredients and I make my pasta from scratch. Booyah.
Well, what a great start. I'm sure everyone makes great spaghetti. Ha 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 ha. Andrew, tell me a little bit more about your rationale on setting term limits.
Our current Supreme Court is in dismal failure and is desperate need of new ideas, procedures and influence.
If it's not broke, then don't try to fix it. That's my philosophy.
Thanks a lot for interrupting Emmy. As I was saying, for more than a decade, Norm Ornstein, a political scientist and resident scholar at the American Enterprise Institute, has strongly advocated moving toward term limits for Supreme Court justices.
I've heard of him. He is pushing for 18-year terms, staggered. That way each president in a term would have 2 vacancies to fill.
Once again, thanks for interrupting.
Whatever.
To continue doing so would open opportunities for men and women in their 60s and not just those in their 40s. This would yield a court that more accurately reflects the changes and judgments of society. I'm done. You may speak now.
Life terms have worked since the founding of the United States. Any changes to it would go against more than 2 centuries of tradition. Term limits would directly undermine the text of the Constitution itself.
If I may add, the tenure of justices of the Supreme Court is defined by Article 3 of the United States Constitution, which states that Supreme Court judges shall hold their offices during good behavior. No provision is made for limiting the time justices may serve based on the length of their term or age.
As Jackie mentioned previously, every job has a learning curve. Setting terms would limit the experience of that court. If they are allowed to stay as long as they are able, they bring with them the weight of decades of legal expertise.
Anything less would not serve American people justly.
My turn. Life terms would make sense if life expectancies were the same as when the Constitution was drafted. Today, people are living 20 years longer than those in 1776. Over a term of, let's say, 40 years, a lot can change. The country's views and/or wishes may change along with it. How can someone in their 80s possibly conceive the ideologies of our youth? It is for this reason I am for term limits. And my spaghetti is the bomb.
There you have it, folks. Thanks for watching this week's episode of We the People. See you next time.